Hey guys, so this game is a special game for me because I've discussed it with Richard Rapport, one of the strongest chess players on the planet, second of Dean Liren, for example, participant of the candidates tournament, and he approved and praised my my play. And also, I played the Jubava Report London system. Some call it Jubava London, others call it Jubava Report. Report was one of the pioneers of this system, and it's the first time that I've played this. I haven't really studied too much of theory, but I promised to you guys in the episode with James Canty the third that I'm going to try Jabal London, Jabal Report, and I did. And it was a great game actually. I played it like 90+% accuracy. So let me show this to you. I was playing a talented junior from Kazakhstan, a very young guy. He's like 10 years old, maybe even 9, and already rated 1900, and he's gaining like 100 points practically with each tournament, so he'll definitely be a chess master, maybe even grandmaster. Very strong. But in this game, he got hit with the Jubava report, and let's see what happened next. So d4, knight f6, knight c3, and d5. So this is, and bishop f4. This is the starting position of the Jubava report London. Some also call it, by the way, Jubava Verisov, I think, due to some guy who played it 100 years ago, something like this. But let's not concentrate too much on the terminology. Here there are lots of moves for black. G6 is what I played with black against James Canty, and I won that Bliss game. Fascinating one. Check out the podcast episode if you've missed it. Then there is c6, there is a6, there is e6, and there is c5. So all those moves are possible and logical. Also bishop f5, of course, is also one of the moves. My opponent went for c5, one of the most principled replies. The problem with knight c3 move with this system is the fact that white cannot go c3, like in the normal London system. White usually puts pawns on c3, bishop f4, and e3, and creates this nice pawn triangle. With the Jubava report system, you don't have this luxury of going c3, but your knight is in the center, closer to opponent's camp, and sometimes you can jump in with knight b5, threatening various forks, because your bishop works in tandem with your knight. But first of all, you cannot go knight b5 here, because there will be a check to your king, and your knight will have to retreat. So first you go e3, and now you have an idea of going knight b5, because now the knight is protected by the bishop, and now knight b5 is an idea. That's why my opponent goes a6. And actually, there is an opportunity to take this pawn here, but I decided to go knight f3. I vaguely remembered the plans that I need to put the knight on e5 here. My opponent goes knight c6, and I go knight e5. And of course, if he takes, I'll take with the pawn, and I'll win the d5 pawn. So it's not good. He takes the pawn, I take back, and he goes queen b6. And here, two of my pawns are hanging, so I have to do something, and I take on c6. If he tries to be clever and takes on b2, I have knight a4, I take in the queen, and I'm winning some material after, for example, queen here, knight b6, so it's not a good idea. So he has to take back with the queen or with the pawn. He takes with the pawn, normal move, and now I go knight a4. Now I use the fact that this c5 square is vulnerable and is an outpost for my knight, because there is no b pawn or d pawn to kick me from c5. Also, I am attacking the queen, winning a tempo. He checks me, and it's not a fork because I go c3, and my knight is protected by the queen. And my plan is to just use this weak c5 square first of all, then use my lead in development. Like the bishop should get out, I should castle, and he has weakness on c6 and a6, so I'm a little bit better. I thought during the game, turns out I'm much better already. Like move 10, I'm +1 practically. So it's a big advantage for modern chess with white to have such an advantage after 10 moves is OP, as they say. So Jubava Rapport is a great opening. 97, he rotates the knight. He really wants to break with c5 to get rid of this weakness, but it takes a lot of time. And I realized during the game that this probably is not a good plan for black, because he's still not castled. All his pieces, like practically all his pieces, except for the queen, are on the back rank. And this knight, yes, he can push c5 and get rid of the weakness, but he will have problems with developing, which is exactly what happened in the game. Actually, my opponent never really got to develop in this game. It's quite a short one. Stay tuned till the end. So bishop d3, c5. I take, he takes, and takes. And now the only piece that's developed for him is the queen. And all those guys are standing idly on the back rank. And he will need at least several moves to go g6, bishop g7, castles. 3 moves. Or e6, bishop here, and castles. 3 moves again. And in the meantime, I'm not letting him do it. First of all, I castle. He goes e6, and now go bishop e5. And this pawn is hanging. He cannot develop the bishop. That's the problem. And already white is close to winning, it turns out. If he goes f6, then I have this move, for example, queen h5 with check. Also, I can just drop back. And he has lots of weaknesses. So instead of f6, he decides to go queen a7, drop back, and probably create something here, maybe bishop b7, maybe bishop c5, maybe even sacrificing this pawn to put pressure on g2 with d4. These are some potential plans, but he's already lost because he cannot just develop. I go c4. It's a very important rule when your opponent's king is in the center. You should break open in the center, blow open the center. That's what I'm doing. If he takes my pawn, I can go bishop e4, and his rook is stuck in the corner, and he's just lost. So he's not taken. He goes queen b7. He wants to take with a queen here, or he wants to put the bishop on the long diagonal and again create some counterplay. That's the only thing that he can do here. I go queen e2, connecting my rooks. Now I want to put my rooks in the center and just destroy him before he can do something, anything. He goes bishop d7. I take. He takes. Now I cannot go here and win the rook because he'll take my bishop, and that's not good. But I can go rook c1. And he cannot go bishop c6, creating a battery and trying to go for some counterplay. Because now I can take, and go here. And I'm winning. I'm winning material, and he's still not developed. So that's an important thing that I did to preventing any counterplay of his. Now he goes rook d8, trying to escape from those ideas. And I go bishop c4, putting pressure on his queen. I calculated that he has bishop b5, which is probably the best thing he could have done, trading the queens. But I thought that in this line, definitely I'm winning, because his king is ugly in the center. His bishop still cannot develop. This is also a diagonal that's controlled by me. When he drops back with the bishop, I can just, I can take, or I can go a4, and my rook is infiltrating, and he doesn't have time to finish development. And even in the endgame, he's just lost because he has not developed his pieces. He's playing without this rook and without this bishop. It will take him a lot of time to activate them. In the meantime, I'll at least win one pawn, and we'll have connected passed pawns on the queen side. So this is a winning endgame. So after bishop c4, which I did, probably that was his best chance, by the way, to at least go into an endgame. But he also realized that it's not good, so he retreated with the queen. Now I was calculating some tactics with bishop c7, and I thought that it should be good because queen takes, bishop e6 hits the queen, and once he draws back, for example, here, I check him like this, and I thought rook d1 check, but I did not. The engine says that many moves win here. Queen g4 also is good, but I was not sure if I'm winning, or maybe he finds some escape. And my coach told me that if you have a great position, you should not sacrifice pieces unless you see a forced mate. It's not practical. You should win without any risk. So that's exactly what I did. I did not go for this line, even though I really liked it from afar and I was pretty sure it should be winning, but it's an unnecessary risk. Instead, I just take the pawn. And now I have the connected passed pawns. I can even go into an endgame. It's unclear how he develops. And his king is in the center, like it's a tragic position for black. He takes a pawn at least, but now I go bishop b5. And the problem is that if he takes, I'll take with check. He has to block. I'll check him like this, and it's checkmate in several moves, like forced checkmate in 4. So he does not take, of course. Instead, he goes bishop e7, but I just go rook d1, and the pressure is mounting, and he's completely losing. He tries to make the move bishop b5, but loses on time in this position. He flags, but it's a lost position. It's a checkmate in 4 actually. Queen check here, then rook d8, then bishop d6, and if bishop here, rook c8 mate, and if king here, queen e8 mate. So I won in 24 moves, actually 23 moves. One of my fastest wins in classical. It's a great feeling to have been praised by Rapport himself. So if you like the game, please like this video and drop a comment to support me, and wish me luck in the next round. See you.